bring you out to the White House. Let's take a live look in Washington, D.C., where normally at the White House would be the president, but as you may know, he is actually spending his holiday in West Palm Beach out in Florida at Mar-a-Lago. You're taking a live look out there now. He is out in Mar-a-Lago, and we've heard that he's supposed to host President Volodymyr Zelenskyy to finalize this peace deal that they've been trying to work out for quite some time now. This peace agreement would end a nearly 4-year-long war that began with Moscow's invasion of Ukraine. So the two will meet at Mar-a-Lago's, Trump's private club in Palm Beach, Florida, where the U.S. president is spending the holiday and has an agenda mostly filled with daily rounds of golf. Zelenskyy said the two were planning to discuss security issues, also economic agreements. He's also supposed to raise territorial issues as Moscow and Kyiv remain at odds over the fate of the region in eastern Ukraine. Now, just before this meeting, we know that a couple of days ago, Russia actually intensified its attacks on Ukraine's capital. That included sending some missiles, some drones to attack Kyiv and try to increase the pressure on President Zelenskyy. We also know that Zelenskyy has been pretty hard-nosed about all of this, making sure that everybody knows that, he will not falter. He won't make this peace deal if he doesn't feel it's in the best interest of the Ukrainian people. But in addition to President Trump's meeting with Zelenskyy, we also know the Canadians have also been trying to help out. They actually pledged $2.5 billion for Ukraine, and you're taking a live look, or not a live look, at some video of Canadian Prime Minister Carney meeting with Zelenskyy. Again, he pledged an additional $2.5 billion of economic aid to Ukraine. That offer was made just yesterday while Zelenskyy was meeting with the Canadian leader. And that money comes just ahead of this scheduled meeting that he'll have with Trump a little later on today. I believe it is going to be held at 3 p.m. again out at Mar-a-Lago in Florida. And once again, they're going to try to talk about and finalize this peace plan with Russia to end the Russia-Ukraine war. This also, again, comes following the Russian airstrikes against Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. So both leaders, in terms of the Canadian Prime Minister and Zelenskyy, have agreed that Russia needs to be willing to move in a peaceful direction before anything can happen. But Ukraine will still need full support of its allies in order to come up against Russia if needed. So we heard a little bit from that meeting between the two, between Carney and Volodymyr Zelenskyy. I want to let you listen in on it.
Under President Zelenskyy's leadership, we have the conditions, the possibility of a just and lasting peace. But that requires a willing Russia. And the barbarism that we saw overnight, the attack on Kyiv, shows just how important it is that we stand with Ukraine during this difficult time, and that we create the conditions for this just and lasting peace and a true reconstruction. And I want to underscore something that has happened in recent weeks, is that the development of that possibility under your leadership, and also the prospect of true prosperity for the Ukrainian people. I'll just finish with one point on Canada. We've provided military assistance, further military assistance. We're announcing today further economic assistance for Ukraine, $2.5 billion worth of economic assistance that helps unlock financing from the IMF, from the World Bank, from the European Bank for Reconstruction and Development, to begin this process of rebuilding.
Canada, thank you for your support, first of all, and thanks for your the words that you mentioned about this tonight attack. It was really very difficult, hard attack. Russia launched more than 500 drones and dozens of missiles. And thanks for air defense of our part, that's not enough. And this attack is again Russia's answer on our peace efforts, and it's really showed that Putin doesn't want peace, and we want peace. And he's the man of war, but he's afraid to speak about publicly. But we see the steps, and what we need to stop this war in any way, and we need two things: pressure on Russia and sufficient strong support for Ukraine. We will speak about it. We will speak about air defense, and it's really last weeks we had good steps in diplomacy, but we can't live in illusion that it gives us possibility to have less air defense. With Russia, it doesn't work. So thank you very much, Mark, for this meeting. We will have bilateral, and as you said, we will join our European friends. And tomorrow I will have, I hope, very important and very constructive meeting with President Trump.
Very good. Thank you, everyone. We'll go.
All right, you guys, so from that meeting with the Canadian Prime Minister to now meeting with President Donald Trump, Volodymyr Zelenskyy has quite the agenda ahead of him. We do know that there are a couple of things that they will be talking about. I mean, from getting that billion-dollar aid to now trying to see if they can form that, finalize that peace deal with the U.S. president. I saw one of our comments on TikTok said, don't give up any land. And so I did want to make sure I talked to you about some of the other things that they will be discussing in this meeting. One of the big things, Zelensky said that he'd be willing to withdraw troops from Ukraine's eastern industrial heartland as part of a plan to end the war, but only if Russia also pulls back and the area becomes a demilitarized zone that will be monitored by international forces. We also know that there are some other questions surrounding territory where there's a nuclear power plant. They're also talking about some funding for Ukraine's post-war recovery. These are all unresolved conflicts that we're just trying to figure out what will be done in order to I guess put all this to bed. But it's been quite some time, quite some years, I would say, that have gone by since all of this has began. So it'll be a tough road ahead, but hopefully we can get it done.